Okay, guys, I'm gonna record here, shift status and approving shifts and what that looks like in Relify. And then we're gonna try to mirror that in NurseLoop. So let's go ahead and go to calendar. And I'm gonna go to facility shift status. Okay. In Relify, it defaults to unapproved shifts for today. There's obviously no shifts that are assigned or anything like that. So if I go to here and if I go for, okay, there's nothing for today. So let's go ahead and change the date range. Let's look for shifts from October 1st through October 8th. Okay, let's go for shifts from August 1st through October 8th, unapproved. There's none there. Let's look for approved shifts. Oh, because I was in facility shifts. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm in shift status. These are regular shifts, okay? Let's change the date here to 10. Let's just do October 1 through October 8th, unapproved. Okay, so here we've got a lot of shifts that are unapproved, okay? See the box right here? This box means that we have a clock in and a clock out time. So the caregiver has clocked in and have clocked out, okay? There's one right there, and there's one right here, right? So first thing to look at here, see this top line here? I can read all this. Let's go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so I can see here the location, scheduled date, client's name, caregiver name, scheduled time, actual time, scheduled start time, actual start time, scheduled end time, actual end time, scheduled hours and actual hours. So all these caregiver has not clocked in or clocked out, okay? So, but if you come down here to the ones that have a box, here, you can see there's a clocked in and a clocked out time. There's a scheduled time, and then there's an actual time that's on there, okay? So, and we know it was manually clocked in because there's no location that's done there. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and select all of these right here. I'm gonna select all of those. Okay, I'm looking at unapproved. Now, if I scroll down here, there's one right there. And there's one right there, okay? And I'm going to approve the scheduled and approve the scheduled time, and I'm gonna hit approve. Okay, it's done. Now, if I refresh here, you'll see here, all these shifts here, there are no more with a box. If I want to look for approved shifts and only approved shifts, okay, those two just joined all of the approved shifts for during that same time there, and there's an A for approved, okay? Now I'm going to uncheck this right here. And this here is going to run, if I go like this, it should include, oh, it defaults to only the unapproved. So I'm going to click this action right here, and I can't go to details, and I can't go to timesheets because there is no clocked in and clock out. So I'm going to go ahead and clock this in and save. See how that is no longer available to clock in and clock out? Now I'm going to do the same here. Give it a reason and save. Okay, now I can go into timesheets and I can open those timesheets up and I can add things on, same what they did. Couldn't do that until I had them clocked in and clocked out. There is no save button because it automatically saves it when you make that add. Okay, now shift details. Here is where I've clocked them in, clocked them out. Okay, now if they recorded and said they did, 30 miles and they had $26 expenses, and we're going to check, okay, because this is a Medicaid case, miles are not billable for Medicaid. So we can't bill those. Okay, if it was long-term care insurance, we could. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. Oops, okay, clear that, and let's X out of that. Now you see how it's an X mark right there. Okay, let's find one that this is Medicaid hourly. Let's come down here. Here's long-term care insurance. Let's go ahead and plug that one in. Okay, again, you can't do this because it's not complete. Can't do that because it's not complete. Let's go ahead and clock them in. Let's say that they clocked in at 12:05 and they clocked out at 2:50. And save and save. Okay, now we can go to timesheets here. That's open. We can go ahead and add things. Okay, only the ones that have checks next to them are on the plan of care. Okay, now, because this is long-term care insurance, let's say they did 39 miles and they had $109 in expenses. And now we can do, check these, bill and expense. Okay. And see, there was no warning on there before it was Medicaid, said they couldn't. This one doesn't, so now it's saved. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and refresh. Now we have two more of those. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and do these real quick here. Again, that one's Medicaid. Save, save. They're clocked in. Save, save. Okay, I think you get the point here. But let's this is 8-1, 8-2, 8-3, 8-5, 8-7. Let's go through all the way through 8-7. Okay, here's one more 8-7. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and go 8-1 through 8-7. Oh, I'm sorry, 10. 10-1 through 10-7 and refresh. Okay. Approved. Oh, again, here's all the unapproved. Let me finish these right here. Click those in. Save, save. Okay, we're going to do this here. We're going to have this one go till 4 o'clock. Save. Please clock in first. Okay, good. See, I tried to clock them out and it wouldn't let me. I clock in first and save. Okay. Let's do this one here. Clock in. And we're going to clock them in at 2:45. And then we'll clock them. Oops, let's clock them in. Oop, and that's right there. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and now do this one here and clock them in. And we're going to have them clock in at 5:30, save, and they work till 6 o'clock. No, let's go to 5:55. Okay. And let's do the same thing here. Clock in. It's at 9 p.m. Let's have them clock in at 8:50 and have them go to 9:35. Save, save. Okay. So all those shifts are clocked in. They have not been approved. If I want to go for, I want to run a list of caregivers that were late arrivals. Unapproved. Longer than usual. Okay, these are unapproved shifts and these are longer. This was scheduled for 25 minutes and it went 2 hours and 25. 1 hour, and this is 1 hour and 15 minutes. Let's do late arrivals, unapproved. This one was 25 minutes. It was scheduled for 5 o'clock. And it started at 5:30. There's a late arrival. Okay, shorter than usual shifts. Okay, these are unapproved. These are all the shorter than usual. Let's look at perfect shifts. There were no perfect shifts. There should have been. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead now. Let's look at approved shifts during that time. There aren't any. Unapproved. Okay. We're going to go like this, and we are going to approve the actual and pay the actual. Save. Okay. Done. Okay. So now let's go ahead and go like this here. Hit refresh. We have nothing. We have no schedule for today. But let's just do 10:1 through 10:7. And let's look at approved shifts. Okay, there they all are. Those are all the approved shifts. They have an A next to them. If I want to look at the approved shifts where the caregiver was late, right there. If I want to look for the approved shifts where caregiver was late and late arrival, there. Let's look at approved shifts where they're longer than usual. They're right here. Let's look at both those. Okay, they can't be both, but how many can be shorter? Darlene Holdaway here. That one is that one. This one here is longer. Perfect shifts. Okay, we must not have any perfect shifts. Okay. Okay, so the big thing here is that's how we go through. If we just want to look at approved shifts, when I do that here, there they are right there. Okay. So remember, once they clocked in, the clock in went away, the clock out went away. So they can only clock in once. We can only clock them out once as well. You cannot clock somebody out before you can clock somebody in. Let's now go to the sequence, what goes on here in Nurse Loop here. Okay, so let's go to schedule. Let's look at actual. Let's go to the scheduled shifts. Okay. And first thing off, these are going to be everything that's out there. We haven't given them a timeline. First thing here, I can't even read this column here. It needs to be fixed so I can see what's in those right there. Okay. Now, all these ones with the box open here, that means anytime you can click on that box, that means the caregiver has either clocked themselves in or we have manually clocked them in. And we know for a fact that unless there's a longitude and latitude on all these, they were not clocked in. So we should not be able to check any of those boxes because these caregivers are not clocked into shifts. So these are unapproved shifts and they have not even been clocked in. Okay, so that means I should be able to edit this shift right here. I'm gonna click that right here. Okay, shift is incomplete because we got to clock them in. So let's go here and let's clock them in. So let's see, first of all, can I save this right here? Please fill in the allocated. Okay, so they're saying click, pick a thing. Now I'm going to save it. No work hours have been found. Please clock in first. Perfect. Okay, so let's do this one here. Save. The following field is invalid. Shift details, plan of care. Okay, that isn't even an option. So I cannot clock them in and I cannot clock them out. So because I cannot clock them in and I cannot clock them out, when we go ahead and hit save here, that shouldn't have even happened. Okay, so when I come back in here, looking for unapproved shifts. Now here's one right here. This one here, we know was clocked in because here's his longitude and latitudes when the caregiver was driving. And we'd have a shift alert that was done. So these ones here, they do have the clocked in, clocked out, they have all that stuff. So I can go like that. And I know I can go like that. Okay, so those are those two that are definites. And let's say I'm going to approve the schedule and I'm going to pay the schedule. There's two shifts. I'm going to hit save. Successfully approved the two shifts. Okay, so now when I go to here and I look for approved shifts, hit refresh. It looks like it's doing something up here. Okay, only those two. Okay, here, this is showing me here that this shift was approved. Okay, this one was approved. Okay, let's uncheck that. Let's do approved shifts. Refresh. There they are. However, it does not show that they're approved here. So, and you're also bringing in possibly, maybe you're not. So those two are the only ones that are there, but it should have an A saying that's approved so that you don't do this again right here and this again right here and go approve and approve. Let's say that now you're going to go like this and approve. It's approving. See, we got B and P and we got B and P successfully approved shifts. So let's go ahead and refresh. So I'm not even sure what happened there, but allowed it to do it. But because it was already approved, there should be an A showing that was already approved. Let's go back to these unapproved here. Okay, here they all are. Now we're also showing the approved ones when the only things we should be showing is the approved, is the unapproved. And let's go ahead and grab one of these again here. This one here. So now we have, here's the third one. Let's see what happens here. Let's go ahead and edit this shift. Let's go to clock in. Good. You can't do that because the shift is already complete. However, even if it was complete, you should still be able to modify that. Let's go back. Okay, so now, so you have all these other shifts where we cannot clock them in, but I'm gonna go ahead. Hmm, Sorry, let's go back here to scheduled shift status. Here, let's just give it a date, why not? Okay, so here they all are. I'm gonna select all of them. Remember, 2 of these are already approved. So I'm gonna select all 10, and I'm gonna approve this. So it's approving. Ten one through 10.8. Okay, approving. See, it looks like I'm gonna come up. See, there's a B and a P next to all of them. So successfully approved all 10 shifts. All right. So now let's go ahead and refresh this. And now I'm asking for is I want to see all unapproved shifts from that same time period. And look, they're all still there. And these are approved shifts because we know it because they have that next to them. So all those should have been right here. Refresh. And they should have an A next to them. But because they don't have an A next to them, I can run for a list saying, show me all the unapproves. And guess what? 10.1 through 10.8 unapproves. Now we know we just approved all these, but let's do it again. Now we shouldn't be able to do this because there is no actual start time and an actual end time. I mean, they're not clocked in. So how can we approve a shift where they're not clocked in? But let's prove all 10. Okay, they're all shifts have been approved. So once we approve those, because remember, they should have been clocked in. If I come over to here and go to clock in, they're not even clocked in, but I can't clock them in. Okay, it says it's clocked in. Okay. Let's go ahead and clock this person in. Clock them out. Okay, they're clocked out. Okay, oops. Let's change that to 5:35. Save. I just clocked them in again for a different time. And let's clock them out again. And again. See, remember before on the RelyFi, when I click save, it clocks them in and then it stops it. So you can't do it again. So we can do it multiple times. Let's go back to our shift status. Which, how do we go back? I'm not even sure. So let's go back here. Let's look at our unapproved. Let's go 10.1 through 10.8. Okay, there it is. Actual start time, actual end time. None of those shifts have it. We just clocked one in, it said it did it. So let's go to here. How many are there? There's 10 of them. So long story short here is the function of clocking caregivers in and out is not working. needs to work like the Relifi that I just showed you. Okay. Once they have been clocked in and clocked out, then the box is here. This is if the caregivers have not clocked in and clocked out, there should be no box here. It's not until you have them clocked in and clocked out, which then will show a clock in and clock out time over here, that the box is there. Then you can check them and then you can approve them. Here is just not working. So watch the Relifi first part of this, and then we need to apply that same functionality into the Nurse Loop side. So that's it.